The Xbox brand is like slowly catching on fire right now, and Microsoft kind of needs to get out and actually say something on this. Before we get into it, subscribe to the channel, like, forward this around, because your friends probably gonna want to know about this. If you're an Xbox fan, you may want to see this video. I'm gonna do a lot of talking about these new events going on at Microsoft. Apparently, I've been sleeping under a rock or something, because I thought we was way past this whole Xbox games coming to these other systems. Like, you know, the ones that were coming, like Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves, I talked about in the previous video. It was like, okay, whatever, you know, but their heavy hitter games like Starfield, that's something totally different. And I'm explaining where my thoughts are and how I feel about this. But ultimately, for those who don't know, it is being rumored right now, it came out I think over this past weekend, that Starfield is looking like it's coming to the PlayStation 5. Now, it's coming from this one outlet called Xbox Era. Personally, I don't know of them, but this is where it's coming from. A lot of big people that post about the news and Xbox and things like that are commenting on Twitter like, yeah, I've heard about this as well. Now, here's my thoughts on the matter. Do I care if a lot of these games are coming to PlayStation? Not exactly. I have a PlayStation 5, I have an Xbox, I have a PC, I have a Switch. It doesn't really matter where these games land up, because pretty much me, myself, I can play them. Now, I do understand the people that don't have the ability or the luxury to buy all these systems. If you have invested in a brand, you know, to find out that you could have bought maybe a PlayStation and got those PlayStation exclusives that you wanted, if you're still gonna have those Xbox games, yeah, that might actually suck, you know. I do know, like, it was a while ago, Phil Spencer said, when games were coming to PC, and someone made a statement about, how dare you put these games on PC, and he was like, so you're upset because PC users are going to get to play, like more people can play the game. The thing is, and this comment I'm going to say is more towards the PlayStation, not PC. It's about where you spent your money and invested it in. If you wanted to spend your money on PC instead of Xbox itself, then it would be nice to know what type of games are going to be coming. Same thing like PlayStation. If you're saying, you know what, I'm buying Xbox, I want that Xbox ecosystem. Yeah, Sony has some great games like Spider-Man, you know, and Ragnarok and whatever. But you know what? I think I'm gonna take my $500 and go buy this Xbox instead. Then you find out that all these games are coming to PlayStation anyway. Like, wait a minute, I could have spent $500 over there, you know. So I get where the frustration can come from. The problem, it has nothing to do with fanboy wars or contours or anything like that. The issue is Xbox needs to stick with what they have said over the past few years, because your brand is diminishing because consumers feel like you lied to them. Now, ultimately, now in Xbox's defense, no one from Xbox has officially said any of this is happening. This is a rumor. That's all it really is. And people are running around throwing their Xboxes out into the street, deleting all their Xbox. Like, I've seen people that were like heavy Xbox page Twitter accounts or whatever, and they're just removing anything Xbox related to them. They're going insane over this, over a rumor. You know, the thing is, I look back at a lot of things that Phil Spencer has said, Sarah Bond, Aaron Greenberg. I was up late last night, a bunch of different interviews, a bunch of different tweets and posts and all that stuff. And in reality, most of the stuff I found was them just constantly saying they're not going third party. These games are exclusive. There was a tweet in particular that I found from Aaron Greenberg. For those who don't know, he's like the head of marketing at Xbox, where he was talking about Starfield. He was replying to a tweet about Starfield in 2021. It was August 30th of 2021, if you guys want to look it up yourself, where he says, we have tried to be as clear as possible, not a timed exclusive. This is simply where the game is being made in a green heart, which everyone knows, that means Xbox, whatever. The thing is, even though Xbox has kept saying this, they need to keep saying this. This is about your brand, the Xbox brand. You know, this is about your consumers. I keep hearing that Xbox doesn't care about the box anymore. And then Xbox came out and said, oh, we do care about the box. But you need to probably beat it over your consumers' heads with the fact that you guys are 100% committed to making games Xbox exclusive. For example, why is it that when the Blade trailer came out, we had to wait like, what, a month before Xbox had its own trailer for it? And it might not have been a month. But the more as all this stuff is going on, the more Blade feels like a timed exclusive than an actual exclusive. You know, Xbox needs to get out and actually say one or two things. If this is actually, if Microsoft is going the way of timed exclusives, because in reality, you guys may not remember, but Satya Nadella, I believe I'm saying his name right, the CEO of Microsoft, says he actually doesn't like exclusives. Like, in reality, he's not a fan of them. but he knows that there's a world where they need to exist. And hopefully I'm not butchering his statement, but that's pretty much what he said. My stance on exclusives is exclusives are fine if it's first party exclusives. I'm not a huge fan of third party exclusives, in all honesty, because I still think you need to have a reason to go out and buy the system. In the generation that we are in now, these systems are so similar to each other. They're so similar. Why buy both systems? You're spending $1,000 on two pieces of plastic if one of them is just going to run everything, in all honesty. In my opinion, Party Chat on the Xbox is better than PlayStation, but it ain't $500 worth better. And you know, games are cross-play and you have all these different options now, so. But that's neither here nor there. The thing is, ultimately, when it comes to all this going on, the biggest point is that consumers feel like they're being lied to. And because of that reason alone, whether you don't care about console wars, whether you don't care about what's going on Twitter, the fact that your brand, and maybe Microsoft just feels that it's just a small majority of people that care, you know, but the problem is Microsoft, even though they do have a huge market share now that they bought Activision Blizzard, they're still not winning when it comes to consumer perception. Like, Xbox is still kind of considered a joke to a lot of people, especially in a lot of different regions. You know, PlayStation is still that dominant platform. And, you know, the harsh reality is Microsoft may not care about that either. But if Microsoft doesn't care, how do you expect your consumers to care about the Microsoft platform? All this stuff Microsoft needs to get ahead of and actually just say something. You had the Xbox event that happened in January. It was the developer event. They made a big hubbub about it being, these are Xbox exclusive games. And now you have The Verge coming out and saying, yeah, so Indiana Jones, Microsoft is talking about that may go to PlayStation 5. So there's a lot of mixed messages. I remember there was one interview where Phil Spencer said that, you know, it gets very tiresome. I'm not saying it verbatim how he said it, but it pretty much was, it gets very tiresome that they're doing all this pushing and then a rumor comes out that something's going to the Switch, you know, and that's not the case. And I get it. It can be very tiresome, but guess what? I feel like you guys just need to keep beating the users over the head with it's not coming to these systems. These are exclusive, and explain to the consumers what exclusive means, because Microsoft is the only company that has this confusion around this brand so much. Do you in any world think that Mario is going to be on the PlayStation, the Xbox, or PC legally? No, like that's not going to happen. Do you think that we're going to see, you know, The Last of Us appear on Xbox or God of War on Xbox or Switch? No, because the Switch can't run it. But I'm just saying, there's no confusion around these games, but there's so much around the Xbox brand, and that's very, very problematic. I feel if Microsoft wants to survive years down the line, they need to do something, and I don't think Game Pass is enough. Win over lost customers. Microsoft lost so much years of buildup with the Xbox One generation. It's all because Microsoft said something stupid, and even though they course corrected, I think before the system even came out, it didn't even matter. It was over with. It was a wrap, you know, like that was it. Nobody wanted to buy an Xbox. And it took them till now. Keep in mind, the Xbox One came out, I think, the end of 2013. It is 2024. I would say about sometime between last year, 2023, Microsoft finally started to get really in that good grace again, even though, like I said, they're still kind of considered a joke in a lot of areas. But it took a lot of years of buildup, and now you're just going to do it again. Now, in some scenarios, I've been hearing people say that this is Microsoft just testing the water. They allow this to get leaked just to see how people react. And if that's the case, that's a dumb decision. You should know better. You should know better that your Xbox loyalists are going to cause an uproar when it comes to this. You know, ultimately, will the average consumer care? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are going to, you know, still want to buy Xbox. But you have to really think about it. Even kids these days that just play Fortnite or 2K or Call of Duty are going to question what's the point of buying an Xbox. Most people I know do have an Xbox. In fairness, that's just in my personal circle. But I do know outside of that, everyone else seems to own a PlayStation, you know? So I'm very curious to see how this is going to go with Microsoft. It has been a mess, and there's a lot of stuff I was going to bring out that obviously I can't remember right now, but this is a huge mess. Now, do you think that having these games on Game Pass is going to save them when saying you get the game part of your subscription and they don't have to pay, but on PlayStation you have to pay like the $70? In a lot of respects, people sign up at $15 a month or however much it costs play the game for that month until their subscription ends, and then they'll cut off Game Pass and not play it until something else that piques their interest comes out. I really feel like Game Pass subscriptions would also dip. People keep their Game Pass subscription because they have an Xbox, because they want to be immersed in that brand. But if you kill off that brand, people aren't going to care that much about Game Pass. Like I said, it's like people do with Netflix. They'll sign up for the month when something comes out, and then they'll cancel their subscription. You know, these companies have to start looking at the facts. Now, in reality, I'm sorry on Microsoft, they said a little too much. They put people in the mindset that they had this nice safe haven of all these games. You can't turn around a few years later and change the whole thing because you guys decided to do a market pivot. In reality, as much as I like the fact that they bought Activision and all these other studios, maybe you should slow up on buying studios if you can't afford to keep games on your platform. Like, that's just the reality of it. You know, I keep hearing Microsoft wants to get more money or whatever. They can get that money because they go to PlayStation. In all honesty, do I feel like this is actually happening? I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even feel like this is really happening. I do feel like some games will come over. I do feel like some games, maybe Hi-Fi Rush comes over, maybe Sea of Thieves come over. But games like Starfield and Halo, I don't think those games are coming over. Feel like this is a rumor that's getting far out there, and that's because I'm putting a lot of faith in Phil Spencer and his team that they wouldn't do something as dumb as tell the consumer base for years that these things are exclusive. They care about the brand. This is, you know, Xbox, whatever. And then they turn around and do something different. Now, here's the last thing I'm probably going to bring out about this video, because this video is getting longer than I want it to be. The one reason why I'm hearing this is happening is because this isn't coming from Xbox. This is actually potentially coming from Microsoft and putting a lot of pressure on Xbox. It's very likely that Phil and the team don't even want to do this at all, if this is in fact true. I don't care if it's Xbox, I don't care if it's Microsoft. You guys are going to kill your brand off if you make a decision like this and it actually goes through, because of the fact that you have effectively lied to your consumers for years, and there is no reason whatsoever for them to ever believe anything that you're going to say again. Like, I don't like, this was Xbox's comeback. This was their, you know, they put in a lot of hard work and they were forgiven for the Xbox One generation. If they mess up again like that, this will actually be worse than Xbox One generation, but if they mess up again like that, I don't think there's a part 3 of this. I don't think that they're coming back. This would really mess up the brand. Now, am I saying that Xbox is going to immediately go, wait, no, because they're going to have Call of Duty and stuff like that. I'm just saying I strongly feel like the Xbox brand will be totally diminished. And besides games like Call of Duty, those type of games that people just are going to die for regardless, all their other games, I don't know. I don't know if games like Gears and Halo and Forza and, you know, Flight Simulator are big enough to keep the lights on with all of the stuff going on, you know. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm very curious. What do you guys think or feel? Comment all that down below. You know, like I said, personally, I don't feel that this is really going to happen, or at least to the extent that everyone keeps saying is. Again, this is a rumor, but I hope I'm not wrong. I'm very curious to see what happens, but I still have faith in the team, and that's based off of the countless interviews I've heard them say, the countless tweets that they've been posting. And I would assume that a company this smart, and the moves that Phil's been doing that has been so smart, I don't think that he's that dumb to turn around and mess up the brand like that. He's been working for years to get it to this point. I don't think he's on that, even though Microsoft, I know Microsoft runs around our Xbox and talking about, you know, when we all play together, we all, whatever that happy-go-lucky stuff is. I know Phil Spencer said that we need to start looking at PlayStation and Switch users as part of the Xbox community, but I didn't really look at it as them going third party. I mean, like, in reality, they made a statement just a couple of months ago saying they're not going third party. So literally, I think it was like in December, and I think, was it the CEO or it was the COO or what? Someone high up at Microsoft was like, we're not going third party. So it's just really weird to me to think that they're, after all that just happened just at the end of last year, just the end of last year alone, to think that they would actually flip the switch and be like, yeah, we're going third party. We're making a bunch of games for PlayStation now, timed exclusive or not. I'm very interested to see what happens, but regardless of what I feel or what, you know, a lot of people online are feeling, regardless, the point is Microsoft needs to say something. That's it. They just need to come out and say whatever. I don't know what they feel like they need to say, but they need to say something to let users know. Rip the Band-Aid off if this is true, or kill this rumor off if it's not. Like I said before, thanks so much for watching this video. I appreciate each and every one of you that taking the time to actually listen to all this and share this around, because I feel like this is something that definitely needs to be said to a lot of the people in the Xbox community. A lot of people are down now, a lot of people are scared and they're like, oh, what am I going to do? But I feel like there needs to be some video out there explaining with some type of logical reason why this probably isn't going to happen. But again, we don't know, but I really don't think this is going to happen. Anyway, like I said, subscribe if you already haven't, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See ya.